Calling you a radical. This is a really important video. All hands on deck, all hands on deck. Now stay with me. So this is important. Never forget this. Trump's last executive order that he did was to advance SMRs in space. He's a nuclear madman, psycho monster. So I've been going through the Biden proposal. The NE needs to all go to jail. Fukushima should have been the end of the nuclear energy crime syndicate, just flooding money out. Now stay with me. Never forget that the last Teabagger Congress, their last act, what was it? They passed a congressional act in Congress. This is the Teabaggers, this is your right-wingers who tried to overthrow the government, to shoot and kill sea lions in Oregon for eating salmon. It's a fact. I mean, it's metaphorical. No, it's literal. So just like the attack on the Capitol. So Trump, while you're all in the madman monster, still he signed an executive order. Executive orders are illegal, by the way. Bush started that bullshit. Trump took it in earnest. Now, stay with me. So we need to put the pressure on. Now, so I've talked to AOC, and, well, she's been to my rallies. I mean, play back the tape on the so-called New Green Deal. Now, there's a big debate with inside should the Green Deal have any nuclear in it. The people that I'm dealing with, and when I was in D.C., I talked to a lot of people that write these policies, whatever. I mean, I'm the lobbyist that doesn't get paid. I'm the counter to the lobbyist, which is pretty unbelievable. All this fucking work I do for free. Fuck, it's, well, while in critical condition, fighting for my fucking life full of cancer. I am in the university. This university right here is floor construction. Weber State University is floor construction. It's called Utah Construction. They merged with they are the SMR in Idaho National Lab. You read through the policies, it's all, I protest up there. Idaho National Lab was deader than a doornail. It's radioactive as hell. It's death zone from hell. My friend I grew up right here, went to Weber High with, freaking owns the bar there. I know everything up there. I mean, what Trump has turned it into, it's a war zone up there. You wouldn't believe it. I don't know what they're testing, what they're doing, whatever, but this SMR is a fairy tale lie. Now, again, John Huntsman, who I know, I asked him right over there, what about the SMR that blew up in Russia? And SMR blew up. The only one that's ever been tested blew up. It killed the 8 times. Yeah, I collected the data. Okay, then open your fucking mouth. Your dad died of it. All these people. So, this is important. From what I understand, the OC crowd, they want no nuclear. And I can guarantee you that. I've been prepping her for years in that crowd. No nuclear. This whole SMR advance is bullshit. Now, from what I understand, they're going to pivot. And they're going to start testing some more of some hydro, you know. And Trump doled out more nuclear pork than any, illegally. So the head of the NRC, the Nuclear Regulatory Committee, she's from Idaho National Lab. She worked with Reyes, who's the CEO of NuScale, this sham. It's a sham. They'll never build one. They'll never have one. There's only been 3 tested. Idaho National Lab. Do you know in the late 50s, early 60s, twice they blew up, killed people. The place is radioactive as hell. You know? I mean, oh, I know. Santa Susana in Los Angeles, that's an SMR. That's a fast breeder. Boom! These are a fairy tale. They'll never have them, and Utah's being looted. How did this? I caught them. I mean, I went at them with them right here. The only resistance they had was me. I'm at the legislative process, catching them. Listen, the original funding for NuScale was a company called Kenwood Financial. Look it up. It was a sham. That was under the Obama administration. It was a sham. I'm the one that outed them as sham. They went to prison. They got found guilty for a Ponzi scheme. The SEC charged them. That was it. The whole thing's fraudulent. The whole thing is total fraud. They've been ripping off the Utah through AMPS. AMPS was for wind and solar. I was part of the group that put it there. Same in New York. Status King Cuomo, $7.6 billion. The FBI's in Ohio. And I want to talk about my cancer a little bit on this mushroom that's been going around a lot. Some guy's injecting mushroom into his veins and tea, and it almost killed him. The fungus started to grow. Look, I'm a 1% survivor, AML leukemia. Less than 1% survivor. I had one of the most radical cases. I went into the bone marrow transplant at LDS East State on 11/11/11. This is important. Try being a cancer survivor. You want to be discriminated. You ain't getting no stimulus. You ain't getting nothing. You're getting attacked. Mike Lee kicked me off Medicaid when I was in the bone marrow transplant, clinging to life. I mean, going in and out of a coma. If it wasn't for that cancer and being able to send an offer, it would have never happened. I kicked that domino over. They're done. So you can keep just porky pigging it. But we as activists have to put the pressure on our politicians. No more. And again, I cannot overstate this. Trump's last act, executive order, to put SMRs on the moon. What? I mean, he's a monster. He's a nuclear, because he thinks he's a mobster, and the mob thinks they run the nuclear industry. Well, let me tell you something. In Italy, the mob, Westinghouse, GE, and the likes of these criminals rolled back into Italy and wanted to restart up the reactors. The mob in Italy kneecapped him. So I caught Mike Lee. That's where I was at when Fukushima happened. I was in the Energy Solutions dump site protesting Mike Lee sneaking in the Italian ways. Then he tells me right there, a few years later in 2013, I think it was, well, Kevin, I just found out my dad's a downwinder. And he lied to me, told me to get right back. Just like Wyden and all that. I know these politicians personally, and they all lied to me. Why? I don't understand this. So this is important. When I had chemo, they experimented with me. My famous doctor, Fimbo Peterson, one of my famous oncologists in the world, Vincent Hansen, who saved me. We don't send 51 years old with de novo, but I'm sending you because I believe in you. They're anti-nukers. They can't talk, HIPAA laws. They used the mushroom new chemo on me. 3 rounds, and then they were going to do 5, and my body wouldn't recover. I lived with platelet counts in the 30s, doing the tidal work, walking the coast of California, all this work with platelet counts in the 30s for 5 years. The day I was due to have my surgery for my gallbladder, and this is important, because now we're finding out that mushroom root, 5 rounds is too much. It works. It eats those freaking tumors away, and it worked, but it wears out organs. My organ valve failed. I almost died. Michael Hawkins, Ogden Regional Medical Center, told me to go see my dentist. They tried to murder me. Had emergency open heart surgery, right as Madman Trump gets into office. I asked Trump about Fukushima in 2016. He lied to me. Status quo, they're all lying. The FBI at least went into Ohio. And the coup, oh my God, anybody doesn't believe that was a fucking coup. Unbelievable. Selfish, ignorant politicians, right? So this is important. So the chemo destroyed my gallbladder. I was due to have it out, which is delicate because it had low plate count. So a special doctor was going to do it, LDS, there, had it ready to go. I got a call the day before and says, you've been kicked off Medicaid. I'm like, what? In 2015, Mike Lee and his idealistic stand sent back all our Medicaid money. I forked over $1 million to get in. It annihilated me. I'm uninsured. It's ruined my credit. It's destroyed me. My bill was higher than that. Almost all of it's paid, except I have straggling bills all over, which has destroyed my credit. So I'm like, what? My doctor was so pissed. I got no notification, so they couldn't do it. It almost cost me my life. My gallbladder ruptured. You don't want that to happen. So I had emergency gallbladder surgery. They wouldn't pay for it. They're suing me. This is the world I live in Utah, and they call themselves Christians. So, fine line with mushrooms. They eat radiation. Oh boy. But too much, it's like radiation from the sun. Too much, it kills the pine tree. Not enough, they got too much. All this, so all hands on deck. We need to put the pressure on this NEI, the whole trade foundation that's supported by the Department of Energy, are mass murder and criminal derelicts. The Department of Energy, the Department of Nuclear Energy, they all need to go to prison. They all need to go to jail. Just never forget this. Why these Trumpers are freaking trying to hang congressmen and senators in a well-planned, well-organized coup. The greatest treason event in United States history, by far. Trump signed an executive order to put SMRs, and which is just throw money. It's a fairy tale. They'll never go there. You got a better chance of landing on Saturn and just dumping it out. So we need to put pressure on the new Biden regime change. And I know Kamala Harris personally. She's sitting by me in some of those hearings when we're going off on Senate Onofre. And I'll tell you that. I know she's an anti-nuclear energy. I know for a fact. I knew her mom. Her mom died of cancer. Rachel Carson of Livermore, I call her mom. She was a cancer research PhD, got cancer and died. But none of these people care. It's not left, right? So never forget this, ever. Trump's last executive order. why he's storming the Capitol and committing murder of a United States police officer, veteran, who, by the way, turned against the war. He had been at the war, and he became a, blood for oil activist. Brian, he signs an executive order. Nuclear, and never forget this, the Teabagger Congress, the great denial decade of 10 years, and I've done all this work in the belly of the beast. I will quote the great Vince Lombardi. Who you're running against, you're going against the best defense in all of football. I'm going to run right at them, right in the belly of their beast. And he did, and he beat them over and over and over here at the University of Nuclearism. Blackball me. We'll see. Stay tuned.